Cash here with this week's episode of Random Destinations. As you may notice, I'm practicing social distance by wearing my own PPE. This mask was made by my lovely wife, by Pickles, and I guess it works pretty well. I haven't got coronavirus yet, although it is difficult to breathe with it on. It fogs up my glasses and I have a hard time catching my breath. So when she's not around, I just kind of reach up under here and pull this Walmart bag off that she had in there, and that seems to help quite a bit. And then I also just pull it down like this when there's nobody around me. But I am here today in the break area of Random Destination Studio with my doctor. I travel everywhere with my own Dr. Pepper. And we're going to talk about this. This is the Crapple iPhone 7 replacement. It's the LG K-50 cell phone. I won't be going into any details at all about the phone itself because, quite frankly, I didn't read any part of that owner's manual. I bought it solely for the camera and the fact that it has a 3.5 millimeter attachment to it. So that's one of the problems that it eliminated with the piece of shit iPhone. It also has upgradable memory. I currently have 64 gigabyte card in there. It'll take up to a 1T card, which is more memory than I think I'd ever need, particularly if we don't travel anywhere. And the battery life is about twice the iPhone. Right now it's at a little more than about 70 hours. However, when I get into it and show it to you, basically everything's shut off on it, other than the apps I need to run the camera. Now, before I get into any detail on the camera, I should let you know, if you watched last week's episode, well, actually last week's episode was 5 weeks ago. If you watched the last one, I mentioned that I'd lost my staff. They had been mesmerized by number 4, and he led them off to the land of sweet baby Jesus, wherever the hell that is. And I should give you an update because I did see a couple of them on TV. I was watching the news and I saw 2 of them that I can identify without a shadow of a doubt. I saw them on a segment on the Liberate Milwaukee rally. They were holding up these homemade signs that had Milwaukee and Liberate both misspelled, and they were at a rally in Lansing, Michigan. So I know 2 of them, for whatever reason, have gone north. And then a couple days after that, I saw 2 more down in Dallas. And again, I positively identified them. They were sitting there waving a sign around that said, "Don't take away my Third Amendment rights." Now, last time I looked, the Third Amendment had something to do with government can't quarter soldiers and private property without your permission. However, God knows what these people think. You know, if you run across them, and you undoubtedly will, most of them won't be wearing masks. They won't be social distancing. They'll be coughing and spitting. A lot of them will be armed and carrying weapons. Just remember, they have a God-given right to be idiots, and they have a God-given right to be stupid, but they don't have a God-given right to take you with them. So stay away from them. Don't poke them with sticks. You can laugh at them. That's always a lot of fun. But just stay away from them, because quite honestly, they're a bunch of crazies. And one last thing before I move on and go inside the studio with the new camera. It's been 5 weeks since I put up a video, and in that 5 weeks, I've had 2 new subscribers to my channel. That's damn near a 10% increase in viewership. So I think the message that I'm getting from my base is the less I put out videos, the more subscribers I get. So I want to give a shout out to number 31 and number 32, whoever you are. If you want to send me an email at randomdestinations55@gmail.com, I will personally send you a dozen or so of these coveted Random Destinations membership cards. I know they look a lot like business cards, but they're actually membership cards, and with this card you can get up to 100% off nothing at any participating store. And there's, right now, all of them are participating. Half of them don't even know that. No, all of them don't know that. But it doesn't make any difference. I got a bunch of these I need to get rid of. So I want to thank number 31 and RDS2E3 for subscribing last week. And like I say, if you want to send me Gmail, if you're smart, you won't do that because you don't want me sending these to you. But either way, that's it. So let's go ahead and gather up our stuff. Oh, hang on. I think I hear Pickles coming down here. All right. So
I got it. Oh, here it is, honey.
you got my new mask?
Yeah, it's much better. I'm sure you like it better. You'll be able to breathe and everything.
Well, I can already breathe better.
There you go. Got you covered, dear.
All right.
Just get it. There we go. It's perfect now.
This is a big improvement over the first one. All righty. Wow. I have to say she knocked herself out of the park on this one. I can breathe perfect. It's not fogging up my glasses. I think this is a keeper, baby. Go ahead and crank out a few 100,000 of these and we'll sell them at our store on eBay.
Okay.
All right. So let's go ahead and get the camera and go on in the studio and I'll show you what little I know about this. Okay, I'm all set here. Let's go ahead and take the camera down to the studio. I have this just in, I think, regular 1080. This one doesn't shoot in 4K. But I'll just go ahead and set her up here, and when I get everything set up, I'll be back and we'll pick it up. Well, here we are. This is the LG K-50. This is a South American model. This was released in this year, 2020. I bought this one on eBay. You can't find them in stores. Best thing about this, $149.99, and that included tax and shipping and everything. My understanding is there's going to be a model released, or there was going to be a model released this year in the United States called the K-51, which will be this same phone. This is a single slot SIMS phone. It runs on 2 to 4G networks. It does not run on 5G. I have no intention, I bought this unlocked, I have no intention of putting a SIMS card in it and using it as a phone. It has 3 gigabytes of RAM and 32 gigabytes of storage. That's what comes with the phone. I currently have one of these micro SD cards in, same ones I use in the GoPro, at 64 gigabytes. Seems to be a perfect number for me. I think I have 4 of these that I can swap back and forth. And I learned that once I put them in here, it doesn't matter which one I put it in. There's no formatting or anything. It just goes with it. This has dual cameras on the back for depth. The first main camera is a 13 megapixel. The little camera is a 2 megapixel. It works at a f-stop of 2.4. The selfie camera on the front is also a 13 megapixel camera. It shoots at 30 frames per second and an f-stop of 2.0. And most of the things that I am shooting is either at 24 or 30 frames per second. We don't do a lot of adventure stuff. The first giveaway when I got this phone and powered it up, that it was not an American, made for the American model or market, was the charger that came with it. And I looked at it and said, I need an adapter for that. And I just happen to have one because I've taken it to Europe and never used it for anything. And lo and behold, rolling around in the box was the adapter. And when I first started it up, it said Buenos Dias and gave me the weather report for Buenos Aires. So when I put all these clues together and really thought about it, I said, I'll bet this was made for the South American market. But that having been said, it's pretty simple to start up. I had no issues with it, and by God knows that I'm not a techie person. Now, if you recall from my less than flattering review of the iPhone piece of shit Crapple 7, there were 3 major things that I really didn't like about it. I didn't like the fact that it didn't have a 3.5 millimeter jack. Instead, it had this Apple dumbass idea of the lightning connector, which I think is just a stupid idea. This does have the 3.5 millimeter jack, so you can connect any microphone, anything to it. It's Bluetooth 5.0, it has GPS, it has an accelerometer. It has a proximity monitor or meter. I'm not sure what that does. I know what the meaning of proximity is, but I just, as it relates to this phone, I don't know what it does. It's probably not something I'm going to use. It has fingerprint security. Comes with this handy charger and standard USB to a micro USB, I believe, on it. But best of all, total cost on it $149.99. And to be real honest, considering when I bought this, it was like $700. This has got it beat all over. So you can find it on eBay. I don't think you can find it on the stores yet. So if you're interested in one, I would say so far my experience with it is it's pretty nice. It certainly does everything this will do. But like I had mentioned in earlier videos, I'm down the road so far with Apple that I can't abandon it. I can not spend big bucks on Apple crap anymore, but I have so many devices that are all interconnected that I can't switch over to this. However, I believe this will take the same SIM card that a prepaid track phone takes. I'd have to look it up. And if we do travel, I think that's probably what I'll do, is I'll activate it for a month or so and use it as a telephone, and this piece of crap can stay in the safe. So that's pretty much it. Now my next video is nothing. I have nothing left to video. We're not going anywhere. I have a few, I think of the 24 episodes that I had planned on filming, I think we can probably salvage maybe a dozen of them, but it's all going to depend on what happens. And to be real honest, the more crazy people that go out with AK-47s wanting to liberate states, the more that happens, the less likely is that I'm going to travel anywhere. So that's it for this episode. Until the next episode, try to stay safe.